You can't expect for people to know about you, to see your stuff, if you don't interact with anybody, if you don't talk to anybody. I'll just wait for people to find me. If people don't find me, if they don't want to work with me, it's too bad. And it's killing your business. There's really only 3 reasons that creatives hate outreach. Most creatives are really kind of introverted. It's not actually outreach that you hate. While it's not fun, it is necessary. You don't have to worry about an algorithm to start talking to more people. And I know the introvert that's watching this right now just cringe. You're reaching out with the mindset of I need something instead of I can offer something. Be honest. When you hear the word outreach, do you cringe a little bit? Well, if I'm being honest, I know I still do. A lot of us have been taught or have learned or have implied that marketing should do all the work. Marketing is what brings in the customers, right? But what if I told you that outreach is how you actually grow your business? What if I told you that your hate of reaching out to people, your hate of having to talk to people is the exact reason why your business is not growing? I know for a while, even like me having to learn this as far as why my business failed is because I only relied on marketing and I didn't rely on the outreach. I didn't rely on the sales portion of it. I didn't rely on actually having to talk to people. I just wanted my marketing to do all the work. I wanted to post my work and people will come. I just was like, I don't want to seem too awkward. I don't want it to seem forced. I don't want it to seem salesy. I don't want people to think that I'm trying to sell to them. And that in turn was one of the things that actually hurt my business more than it helped. Because the hard truth is that you can't expect consistent income to come in while relying on chance encounters. You can't expect for people to know about you, to see your stuff, if you don't interact with anybody, if you don't talk to anybody. I used to say this all the time that it's called social media for a reason. You have to be social. You have to talk to people. You have to reach out to people. And I think a lot of the times that because it feels awkward, it feels forced, it feels salesy, we subject ourselves and we subject our audience to, well, if they want me, they'll find me. And I'll just wait for people to find me. If people don't find me, if they don't want to work with me, it's too bad. And it's killing your business. It's actually the main thing that's killing your business is the fact that you don't want to do outreach. And most creatives actually hate outreach. Most creatives are really kind of introverted. I know I'm introverted, but the thing is, you can't let your introvertedness stop you from building your business, stop you from making money. And even being extroverted, even if you're good at talking to people, when it comes to outreach, if you feel as though it's salesy, you're probably selling them the wrong thing, but we'll get to that in a different video. The thing is, it's not actually outreach that you hate. It's what you associate with outreach. And coming from somebody who hates outreach that was doing it for us a good amount of time, stopped doing it and realized that the business was going to HE double hockey sticks. It brought this revelation that while it's not fun, it is necessary. And you can make it fun, but you have to identify the reasons why you hate outreach in the first place, or you hate the thought of outreach in the first place. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. I don't want you to see outreach as being desperate because most of us creatives, most of us starting entrepreneurs, starting business owners, we see outreach as desperate and we see it as pushy, we see it as awkward, and we really don't understand that outreach is the most powerful tool for creating opportunities without ads and without algorithms. You don't have to worry about an algorithm to talk to people. You don't have to worry about paying for conversations. Conversations are free to have. You can start them with anybody that's willing to talk to you. So what you need to do if you want more clients, if you want more collaboration, if you want more cash flow. You don't need to get discovered. You need to start initiating. You need to start initiating more conversations. You need to start talking to more people. And I know the introvert that's watching this right now just cringe. When I told you that you need to talk more, you cringed a little bit. You low key wanted to just close the video right now because it's like I don't want to hear what you're saying. But the thing is, if you want more clients, if you want more collaboration, if you want more cash flow, you're going to need to start initiating and not waiting. And so I'm going to, in this video, break down the three main reasons, and it's really only three reasons that creatives hate outreach. I'm going to break down all three of those and how you can fix those. Because once you understand why outreach feels uncomfortable, you can fix it for good and you never have to worry about it again. So let's go ahead and jump into the first reason. Reason number one that you hate outreach is that you're treating outreach like begging instead of serving. Now, I'm going to let that simmer for a second. You're treating outreach like begging instead of serving. Now, what do you mean by that? Well, the thing is that this is the biggest one because, like I said, you feel as though you're begging, which is why you don't like it because most people don't like to beg. Most people don't like the concept or the idea of begging. And so, what we tend to do when we feel as though it's coming from a place of begging, we just don't do it anyways. And the reason why you consider it begging is because you're reaching out with the mindset of, I need something instead of, I can offer something. I'm going to say that again and I'm going to say it real slow. When you reach out, if you associate reaching out with begging, then you're reaching out with the mindset of, I need something instead of, I can offer something. This is why we call them offers, because I'm offering you a solution to a problem that you have. If you haven't understood that simple concept of business, then anytime you reach out, anytime you create an ad, anytime you create anything, if you haven't associated your business as a solution to somebody's problem, then every time you reach out to somebody, you're going to consider it as begging and not as you can offer something, not as helpful. I'm trying to make your life better. This is going to change your life mentality. You're never going to actually enter into that realm unless you understand that what you have is a solution to somebody's problem. And so I want you to understand that outreach isn't about asking, it's about aligning. Because people aren't even saying no to what you're offering them. They're saying no, not right now. Or maybe it's just not clear enough for them to want to say yes. Maybe it's not compelling enough for them to say yes. See, a lot of times what we tend to do is that we reach out to people for validation instead of out of value. And what you want to do is, instead of thinking of your offer or thinking of you reaching out as you asking people for something, you want to reach out and come from a place of, hey, I got a solution to a problem I think you might have based on some of the things that I see. I just want to make sure that you get the solution. I just want to make sure you can fix this problem. I just want to make sure that your life is better because I came in. That has nothing to do with me asking you to give me anything. I'm coming with the notion of, I want to help your life be better. And when you come from that place, it shifts from being a tone of desperation. I need you to buy this thing. I need you to book this service. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. It switches from being desperate to being confident, because this person isn't asking me anything. This person just wants to help me. And of course, a random person just wanting to help you nowadays just kind of feels a little random, right? Well, that's the thing. That's one of the reasons why you're gonna stick out. Because most people are either asking for something or they're trying to sell you something. If I'm not trying to do either, that in itself makes me want to talk to you. I hate the amount of DMs the amount of emails that I get of people trying to sell me something because I can tell straight off the bat that they're trying to sell me something. They're not trying to help me solve a problem that they can see. Now, yes, there are certain levels of helping somebody solve their problem. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but the moment that you change your messaging, the moment that you reframe your message around value instead of validation, instead of I need this, you'll understand that outreach doesn't have to feel salesy. Because instead of saying, hey, do you need, or hey, I have this, are you interested? You can try, hey, I noticed, let's just say your brand visuals can match your growth. Want to chat some ideas? Or I have some ideas that I want to share with you that I think will do very good with you. One sounds helpful, one sounds needy. The first one sounded needy. Hey, do you need this? You need new photos, you need new graphics, you need new. It's like, well, maybe I do, maybe I don't. It's a yes or no question. But you're like, hey, I got something for you that I think might help you. That in itself already sounds more inviting, sounds more pleasing, sounds actually more servant like. I'm coming into your life to make your life better. Whether or not you buy from me, I don't care. But that's a whole nother story. When your outreach starts from service, it stops feeling sales. So the quicker you can understand that your business is here to serve people and you charge them to help them get the solution, but your business is here to serve people and not just get people's money, you start approaching your business differently. You start approaching conversations differently. So hopefully that helped as far as reason number one. And you can kind of start understanding that if you've been asking people questions when you go into conversations, instead of acknowledging them, complimenting them, seeing where they have already done some stuff that is in your wheelhouse that you can give them advice on, that you can give them tips on. If you haven't been doing that stuff, start doing that and it'll feel a lot less awkward, a lot less salesy, to begin with. The second reason that you don't like or you hate outreach is because you don't know what to say, so you say nothing. I'm gonna say that again. The reason why you hate outreach, the second reason why you hate outreach is because you don't know what to say, and so you just say nothing at all. And so most people actually freeze up when they don't know what to say because they don't want to sound robotic, they don't want to sound awkward, they don't want to sound dumb, they don't want to sound ignorant. And so instead of looking stupid or sounding stupid, at the risk of sounding stupid, they just say nothing. They just don't do anything. They don't make any action. They don't make any moves. They don't make any type of step towards getting better. They don't realize that when you are so scared of it not being perfect, when you're so scared of not doing the thing right, if you're so scared of how people are going to perceive you or how people are going to look at you or what people are going to say about you, you tend to just freeze up and do nothing. And that's what most people do. Most people are so afraid. Most people get this anxiety, this fear of a future outcome that they don't even know is going to happen. That they end up locking up, freezing up, and not even saying nothing. They never make the content. They never send the message. They never send the email. They never go to the event. They never do any of this thing because of they're so concerned about what other people are gonna say about them, what other people gonna think about 'em. Outreach isn't just about a message. Outreach ain't just about a phone call. Outreach is sometimes you going out to an event and letting people know who you are, letting people know what you do, letting people know how you can help them, who you help, what you do, all that stuff. But because you're so concerned about what people gonna think about you and how people gonna see you and how people gonna think about you and what people gonna say, you end up not doing anything in the first place. And you have to realize that silence doesn't build relationships. Conversations do. Silence doesn't build trust. Conversations do. Talking to people does. So you have to get into a rhythm of talking to people. You have to associate growth with conversation. So let me give you a little framework that you can actually go by. So start with an observation. Let's just say this is a message or a phone call or something. Say, I saw your last post, I saw your last project, I saw your last story, I saw your last clip. I saw something that you just did. And I love how you did X, Y, and Z. Start with the compliment, start with the observation, and then bridge it to the value. This is step number 2. So step number 1, start with observation and all the things. Compliment, and be like, hey, I saw this. I love how you did this. This is so dope. Uh, how did you come up with that? Whatever. Then bridge the value because I specialize in helping businesses like yours or people like you with X, Y, and Z. And then end with ease or end with a soft call to action. If you ever want to brainstorm ideas, I'd be happy to chat. If you ever want to brainstorm ideas, I'd love to talk about it. If you ever need advice on something like that, I'm willing to help you. End with some type of call to action. There's like no pressure, and it's not a pitch. It's just a conversation. I think a lot of times we're too in our head when it comes to saying the right thing. Start with the observation. And this can be in just regular everyday thing. If you like somebody's shirt, say, hey, I like your shirt. Where did you get that from? They may know, they may not know. Especially if you're a clothing brand. It's like, I create this type of stuff for people like you. Would you be interested in learning more about it? Or, hey, if you're ever in a neighborhood and need something, like holler at me and just see what people say. Like that could start a whole conversation. That could end up making people more curious about what you do, how you help. They may know somebody in the market for that, or know somebody who's interested in that, and that can spark a whole conversation. Because the goal is not to convert everybody. Your customer is not everybody. So if you detach wanting people to buy from you from conversations, it makes conversations a lot easier to have. You have to remember that your goal is not to close a deal. It's to open the door for a relationship to form. Detach your desire to close the deal from your conversations, and you'll open the door to more relationships that can open more doors to more conversions than silence can ever do. And then reason number 3, and this is probably one that most people will reject. So I don't even know how well that this part will be received, but you're probably carrying rejection from the past. Somebody probably told you no. Somebody probably said that you were a scam artist. Somebody probably said that you don't know what you're talking about. Somebody might have called you out on something. Somebody might have just rejected you. Somebody might have said, I think about it and never returned your call. Somebody might have ghosted you. Somebody might have did something in the past. And because of that, because it stung, you just stopped trying. You just stopped doing anything. You felt like you weren't good enough because somebody said no. You connected the no to your value instead of connecting the no to your offer. But if you were doing either the things that I talked about are reason number 1, or if you were doing anything that you weren't supposed to be doing in reason number 2, then the reason number 3 is probably why they said no. It's probably why they didn't want to go continue on with you, because what you did didn't match or didn't resonate with them. It didn't matter to them. You didn't make it, you didn't frame the price of them not doing it to your price. You didn't give them enough reason to care. And so a lot of times what we tend to do is that we tend to connect people's reaction to just saying, well, I'm just not good enough. I need to work on it. I need to get better. I knew it wasn't right. We start to use that as validation of whether or not we're good enough. Start to use that as, oh, I knew there was something wrong with me. And like I said in another video, is that what you say to yourself, what you believe about yourself is how you're going to operate. The more you talk to people, if you even just copy and paste the same message to everybody, the more times you do it, the more likelihood you'll get more yeses than nos. And even if you get more no's, the moment that somebody says yes will give you enough boost to go to the next. I can't tell you how many DMs I've sent, how many emails I've sent, how many text messages I've sent, where I got a bunch of ghosts, I got a bunch of no's, I got a bunch of tumbleweeds. And the moment that people said yes, that was enough for me to make the amount of money that I needed to make. Whether it was 5,000, whether it was 2,000, whether it was 1,000, whether it was $500, $250, $750, $850, whatever it was, the more messages I sent out, the likelihood of me making more money kept going up. If I stopped at the first no, I would have never gotten to the place that I was at. I would have never hit that six figures. I would have never hit the double digits, the double digit thousands. I would have never hit the thousands. If I stopped at the first no, I would have never taken action if that was attached to my value. If I never, if I stopped at the first no, my sales skills would have never gotten better. And so a lot of times what we don't realize or we don't do as creatives is refine our offer, refine how we talk about our offer. A lot of times we just think that we're not good enough. So what's the point in trying? And so you have to stop beating yourself up because people aren't saying no to you. They're they're probably just saying no, right, not right now, or it's not clear enough. The value of it isn't clear enough for them to want to say yes. You have to understand that your worth is not attached to your outreach. Your worth is not attached to whether or not people say yes or no. This isn't an audition. You're just auditing. You're auditing what people need or what makes people say yes, what makes people say no. You're not auditioning. You're auditing what to say. You're checking to see if I say this thing, more people say yes, more people say no. If you take your emotions out of it, if you get out your feelings, take your emotions out of it, and just do the outreach, just do the thing, then most times you'll find yourself getting more and more comfortable with doing it in the first place. Because even Jesus wasn't accepted in his hometown. So what makes you think that everybody that you talk to is going to accept you? If Jesus wasn't accepted and was able to still walk in his purpose, was able to still do what he was called here to do. Yes, he was God in the flesh, but he was still human. He was able to still walk in his purpose because he knew that not everybody was going to accept him. He knew not everybody was going to see the value of him, but he knew who he was based on whose he was. And because of that, he was able to save us, redeem us, and give us a life that we could have never imagined. And so, because somebody else, because Jesus walked in his purpose, we've been given the example of how to walk in our purpose, no matter who overlooks us, no matter who doesn't see our value, no matter who tells us no, no matter who doesn't accept us. Because of that, we've been able to replicate. We've been given the ability to replicate what he did and show more people that even if you aren't ready, even if you don't know what you're doing, even if you are scared, even if you're an introvert, even if you're a creative, even if you're not good at numbers, you can still do it. You can still talk to people. You can still do the thing. You can still build that business. You can still play that sport. You can still, we've shown so many times that no matter what the obstacle is, you can always overcome. So don't attach the no's, don't attach the rejection to your value. Understand that you're just having a conversation. Outreach isn't annoying when it's authentic. And when you detach your wanting them to buy from the conversation, it stops becoming manipulation, or it stops feeling like manipulation and starts just feeling like a conversation. So hopefully that video was helpful. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you've identified that the reason why you don't like outreach is just because you've been doing the wrong things. Hopefully that helped you. Hopefully that blessed you. And I will see you guys next time in the next video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll see you next time.